So life is full of distractions. And so I want you to think about what are your goals and what is it that you see for yourself in and out of the pandemic. You just saw a video. Here I am, 77, just a few months ago, about 3 months ago, I connected with my birth family. And to see a picture for the first time of my birth mother and father. This thing called life, it's just so unpredictable. And so that in the middle of all the stuff that we have to do and the things that you have to do in terms of your personal stuff, in terms of your business and the people that's a part of your team, and all of the unexpected distractions that we just don't see coming. This is a very challenging time. And what we have to do and know is, first of all, we have to have a program for ourselves to handle what's going on. And I want you to write this down. When things go wrong, don't go with them, because they're going to go wrong. That's going to happen. And so having a strategy, a game plan, a ritual to train your mind to observe things and not buy into the things that you see, that's major now more than ever. This is no time to lose it. And so when we look at all the conflict and all the things, the confusions and the violence and the spike in suicide and politicians lying out of their necks every day and say, don't believe your lying eyes. You say, come on. This is a different kind of place. And so this is a time that you have to begin to focus on you. This lady, she was working in hospice and she was interviewing patients who just had a few weeks to live, about 2 months to 3 months. And she asked them, what do you regret about your life? And the majority of them said that I wasn't true to myself. That I wish that I had done the things that had been true to me. It's been said that most people die unlived lives. They die a life that's not them. And so I started examining, where am I now and what am I to do with what I'm going through, just with one of my children who's bipolar schizophrenic. How do I handle that? I call FAF and say, hey, I need some help. Do you know anybody that can help me? Because here I am, can motivate people around the world, and my son, look like I made him by myself, can't hear my voice. So that's very challenging, and it's very humbling. So part of what I want to share with you, develop a ritual for you. I'm the fix-it person, but I had to begin to anchor myself in the words, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can't change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And if that wasn't enough, I'm at Cancer Centers of America last week, and they said, Mr. Brown, we know we gave you the Perseverance Award for 29-year prostate cancer conqueror. But we see something here, because I just said, let me just check myself out and see how things are going. And they said, your white blood cells are low. We've not seen this. And I remember reading a book called Who's the Matter with Me? And what I realized, that the shift that has taken place in my health that I'm now proactively dealing with, it is a result of stress, that I was allowing the stress, dealing with my son, dealing with the business and all my children and all of the things that I just have to deal with, no, excuse me, not have to deal with, that I get to deal with. I want you to write this down. Operation Clean Slate. Come on, somebody. Well, I'm coming for you right now. I started saying, wait a minute. A lot of stuff that I had on my plate It wasn't my stuff. And so I decided Operation Clean Slate. I started getting stuff off my plate, my children, my brothers and my sisters and friends. My mother had a sign, my adopted mother had a sign on her mirror, and it read, "Oh Lord, help me keep my nose out of other people's business." Now I understand. I want you to write this down. We live our lives forward, but we understand it looking backwards. Now I understand what Mama meant, because I was putting my nose in a lot of business that was not my business. Operation Clean Slate. So you have to sometimes stop, look, and make an assessment and ask the question, what am I to do with this? Where am I going? What's going on with me? Who am I really? Who have I been being? And I have been being Superman or Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day. It's Mighty Mouse. He's on his way. I said, no, I resign. I can't even call Superman to help me out. You know why? Because they eliminated the telephone booths. He can't even change clothes. I told him not to remove those telephone booths. He's not gonna risk being arrested for indecent exposure, taking off his clothes in a telephone booth. Now that's not an option. So, so here we are. And we have to deal with this stuff. And so number one, you gotta be true to yourself. You gotta have a ritual to take care of yourself. And you know this. And it's very important. And sometimes we need to be reminded of what we know. I'm getting still, and I'm reading the Bible, the Torah, the Kabbalah, the Holy Quran. I'm reading everything. When they said, Mr. Brown, your PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen 2,400. Wow. And I say, whoa. But guess what? I got it down. I got it down to below 0. Then it went up to 4. And so I'm working on it again. But what I know is I'm minimizing the stress in my life that I brought into my life. I take responsibility for where I am and this situation. That's an opportunity to prove my discipline and my commitment of making choices, that I would be here and at 77 making the rest of my life the best of my life. And I know that many of you have decided in this mastermind, that's where you are. And because we can't do it by ourselves. And so building mental resolve. I get up early in the morning, listening to things to fortify me, to begin to strengthen myself mentally and emotionally and spiritually. Here's something else. As you begin to dig in and start thinking your life, rethinking it and looking at yourself, why is that important? Because this is a new space that requires a new skill set. Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. And so Les Brown had to say to himself, hey, look here, if you do the same thing that got you here, that won't serve you in this new space where we are. So self-awareness is very important. Am I being me? Am I being true to myself? Am I doing the things that I need to do to keep myself on the path, to do the things that as I go forward, where I am an asset to my family and not a liability? Here's something else. Whatever your goal and dream is, I can share with you based upon my experience, it's possible and it's necessary. You got to decide, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this happen. But not just that, but also who you have to be in order to do that. Because at the end of the day, and you know this, being with Fab, that people don't live life as it is. You live life as you are. if you're not playing with a full deck, if you are not getting a full night's sleep, if you don't have the clarity of mind to make good decisions that will serve you and your team and your family, that's going to be challenging. You become a liability. As Jim Rohn said, is your life a warning or is it an example? A warning of not to do or an example of what to do? So taking care of yourself, and I want you to write this down. Live your life, and this is where I am. And I really want you to put this someplace that you can see it. Live your life the way that you want to lead your life. I was talking to a room of entrepreneurs, and I asked them, if you knew you had just a few weeks to live, what would you do differently? And I was surprised that the majority said, I would quit my business, and they start thinking about things that they were going to do. And here's what was fascinating. There's a young lady in there named Pauline Ahi. Pauline was born with no arms and no legs. And so as I was passing her table in this training I was doing, someone said, did you hear what Les said? Write down the things that you would do differently if you knew you just had a few weeks to live. She said, yes, I heard him. And what most of them did at the table, they talked about quitting their business and start traveling and just doing a variety of things. And what she said, I would continue to be me. And when they heard her say that, these people who had written out all the things that they had taken on and all the things that they said that they would step away from, they begin to rethink themselves. And I asked also the second follow-up question, what are the biggest challenges that you're facing right now? Pauline did not have one thing on her paper. No arms, no legs, married with children. And they asked, you gotta have some problem. You don't have no arms. You don't have no legs. That's gotta be very challenging. He said, I don't have no challenge. I find a way to live life on my terms. Whoa. That's major. She said, I've set my life up, my environment, the people in my life, the things that I'm doing. There's nothing that I'm doing that's outside of what I want to do. I'm doing the stuff that's me. I'm being true to me. That's some lesson in that. See, if I knew I had a few weeks to live, I'd do more Zooms and give more motivational speeches. I told my kids that they tell you I'm dead, don't let them embalm me for 3 days. Sneak in there and put a microphone in my head and my hand in the morgue. And if I don't grab it and say, you gotta be hungry, you call your brothers and sisters and say, Dad's gone. Yeah, and if my casket give me a microphone or some Colonel Sanders chicken, I'll be fine. This thing called life. So just determining who are you now and who is it you need to be for this vision that you see of yourself, because life is very challenging. It's sometimes up, sometimes down. Sometimes things go well, and sometimes they don't go so well. It's a roller coaster. And so be true to you and decide the things that you envision for yourself, the reason that you're there, the goals that you've set, the relationships that you're building. Make sure that it represents who you are and the things that you envision. You got to have a mindset that I'm going to do this, just like we got started out. Some stuff happened. It's called life. Think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might. You will have tribulations. Here's something else. Determine what is it that you really want. That's major. What do I really want? And when I started practicing, and I got this from a friend of mine, business partner, Celeste Johnson, Operation Clean Slate, I took a lot of things off my plate, and I'm focusing on doing those things that's in my heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Spending more time with my children and my grandchildren and my 4 great-grandsons. And so when you look at the things that you want, creating special moments, it's been said is not the number of breaths that you take, but the number of breaths that takes, the number of moments that you create that takes your breath away. And that's what I'm looking at and focusing on. I remember when I read this article about Howard Hughes, who at that time was the wealthiest man in the world, and they were trying to rush him someplace on an airplane, and he died. And someone asked the question, how much did he leave? And somebody answered, all of it. And so when we look at ourselves, we got to ask, what's really important? Making a decision, and this time that you're there to rethink your life. What's necessary for you that you want to do before you check out? I remember being at Caesar's Palace, and Frank Sinatra was at a table seated next to me, and at that time I was married to Gladys Knight. I was the conductor of the midnight train. Come on now. I was one of the pips. I was the conductor. Come on. And I heard him say to a young man, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. And so now I want you to write this down. And this is a biggie for me right now. A friend of mine, Samantha, and I said, how you doing? And she sounded so bubbly and so happy. I say, what's going on with you? Why are you so bubbly and happy? And I haven't seen you in a minute. She said, well, the reason I am, and I'm like this every day. And I said, why? She said, this is a non-refundable day. Whoa. I don't have time to be depressed and stressed out. It's non-refundable. I'm going to make the best of it. I hear you talking about making the rest of your life the best of your life. She said, that's real, because each moment, each day is non-refundable. I reminded myself that every hour, the time that I invest, the conversations that I have. I won't take a phone call unless it's positive, unless it's purposeful, unless it's productive, unless it's going in the direction of where I'm going. I'm not just going to give my time away. I'm 77. No, homie ain't playing that. I'm going to leave my life the way I wanted to do something more meaningful and make a greater impact. I still have some more in me. Simba, you're more than that which you have become. I still believe, and I'm sure some of you believe, that you still have some more in you, that the best is yet to come. Here's something else. Your why, what has driven me and caused me to become the person that I am, was I wanted to take care of my adopted mother. You know, my birth mother, she gave me life, but my adopted mother, she taught me how to live life. I feel like Abraham Lincoln has said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. And Mama, she was always engaged in life. She was always looking for ways that she could do something differently. It was not unusual for us to come home and Mama, as small as our house was, that she had reconfigured the furniture in the house. And I remember one time coming home and there was a big window in the living room leaning up against the wall. And I said, Mama, why do you have this window here? Well, they tore this house down and you say you're gonna get me a home. Well, I got this window, so if you're gonna build me a home, I got a window that can fit. I said, no, man, I'm not gonna buy a home that don't have windows in every room. Come on. And she most certainly accelerated me to getting the home that I promised her that I would get for her. But she had the vision saying, I'm going to participate in this and what you're going to do. I'm going to do my part. And so what reason you're here, you've decided, hey, I got something else I want to do. You've got some bigger goals that you want to achieve. And write this down. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I got 3 brothers, 2 that I didn't know. And they look at me and say, whoa, how is it possible? You're just like our birth mother, and you didn't know her. And our grandmother, and you didn't know either one, didn't see them. How is it possible you're just like them? And the reason is, one, they didn't have any goals beyond their comfort zone, and still don't. And they're fine with that. And that's okay. And the other thing is that people say, well, it's in your genes. No. I remember spending a whole day with Maya Angelou, and Maya Angelou said, it aggravates me when people say I'm a natural communicator. She said, show me a natural heart surgeon. She said, no, I'm trained. And so if they put in the effort and the time like you're doing to get training and upgrade my knowledge, my relationships, expand my vision and dreams, I would be living just a non-consequential life. I didn't want that. The reason you are there, that you want to make a greater impact with your business, with the people that you're working with, to bring out the best in them, but also be the model, not just the messenger, but the message that you want to bring out the best in yourself, to challenge yourself. Iron sharpening iron. That's why you're there, creating collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. That's why you're there. You know there's something in you that says, this is not just it for me. There is more for me. People can be distracted by what's going on in Ukraine, by what's going on with the virus. But as for me, I know that this is my life right now. There is no duplicate, and I want to maximize it. Give yourselves a round of applause for reaching for your greatness. Do that right now. So this is a time, and I'm going to share some steps with you that's very important. Because when I became a speaker and I started my business and several other businesses, it was against all odds. You hear me? Against all odds. With no college education and nobody who looked like me that was doing what I'm doing now. But now you see motivational speakers everywhere. Everybody's saying, I'm a motivational speaker. If you were to help people, you would say, well, the only thing I can do if I want to help people, become a preacher. But then when I start doing this, now there are people who say, wait a minute, there's another option. There's another way. See, what we have to do now is we are in a creative mode. Everything that happens is for our good. All things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. If you don't know anything else, you know that. You know that. When we look at what has taken place and where we are right now, this is a fresh start. And we want to take advantage of this. This is no time to relax and say, we did it. No, we did not. This is a fresh start. This is a new beginning. This is a time to build legacies. This is a time to be motivated, get the family involved, get the kids involved, and get focused on what your goal and what your dream is. And what is it that you're going to do now that we're in this place? What is it that you're going to do with your talent? This is a time to work your talent. I remember when I decided, Wesley, Margaret Ann, Leonard, Angelo, listen to me. Sharon, I'm going to buy my mother a home. I'm going to do that. Are you guys going to join me? What are you talking about? I said, I'm going to buy our mother a home. Are you going to join me? Yeah, we'll help you. You know, and they did what they could do, but I was the lead guy. Okay. And so we divvied up what each person would do. Margaret, she bought the groceries, I paid the bills. Wesley was in Vietnam fighting for our country and got a Purple Heart. Yes. See, when you have a new chance, see, life is cyclic. It's like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go well, sometimes they don't go so well. So this is a period. This is a new season. Listen here. This is a new season in your life, in my life, in our life. And now we want to work. You want to work your gift. Not just be a part of somebody else's dream, but this is a time to think and come up with some new ideas. What is it that you're going to do now in this new place, in this new season? See, there's never a shortage of money, just a shortage of ideas. There's a shortage of thinking. When these foreclosures, when the various restrictions that will be lifted, and they will be eventually, all the stuff that's happening right now, what we have to do, it's better to have a plan and not need it than to need it and not have it. And I'm saying to you, find something that's you. Find something that's you. Write this down. Your voice is your superpower. No matter what business you're going to go into, your voice is your superpower. If you understand that, you believe that, just put yes in the comment section. Yes in the comment section. Your voice is your superpower. If you're involved in sales, your voice, you got to be able to sell. If you're involved in multi-level marketing, real estate, insurance, financial, you got to sell yourself. It's very important. Your ability to make a point, the ability to influence people, the ability to make a greater impact. In the beginning was the Word. The Word is powerful. One of the things I can share with you, now you're talking about what is the superpower? What are you talking about? Something that gives you an advantage. I was labeled educable, mentally retarded. Everybody counted me out. And then when I met Mr. Leroy Washington, I was in special education at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, in Liberty City, in Overtown, moving back and forth. But Mama was promising rent. And he said, young man, develop your mind. Young man, be mindful of who you're around. Young man, once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Those three things are very important. And so the first one, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to hungrytospeak.com. hungrytospeak.com, because there you're going to find some medicine for the mind, some power for the mind, and it's called Choosing Your Future. It's a series that I recorded, and at the time I got through with that, that's when I made my first million. That's when I made my first million. People say, what's the most difficult thing you've ever done? Making $1 million? No, the most difficult thing I've ever done, to believe that I could do it. Given my circumstances, born in an abandoned building on a floor, not knowing my birth parents, being a foster child and then adopted, being labeled educable, mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade at Douglas Elementary School into the 4th grade, and failing again at Booker T. Washington High School. To overcome being in a culture where you are marginalized, where you have the complexion of rejection. To believe that I had the ability to do it. I remember there was a program when I was a kid, millenniums don't know about that. They weren't here then. They used to have a program called The Millionaire. And John Beresford Tipton would give Michael Anthony $1 million to give it to a particular family. And after the program would go, somebody come to the house and knock on the door. I would jump up and run to the door. Mama would say, where you going, boy? I said, I was checking to see if that's the man with the check. She said, if you don't sit your behind down, if he had $1 million check, somebody would have busted him in the head by now. You know what? We got a fresh start. This is dramatic. God has been in the midst of all this stuff. And now we want to take advantage of it. Now we want to milk it. This is our time. This is the time to get it done in 21. And part of that process is what's going to be different about you. What's going to be different? This is the time to take it up, to step it up. This is the time to take your performance, to take your focus to the next level. What's going to be different about you? See, the people that are going to maximize this, the people that are going to capitalize on this, the people that's going to make this year, 21, the year to get it done, are the people that are hungry. You got to be hungry. When people are working against you, when there are systems and things in place that are designed to hold you back, you got to be hungry. Things have not changed that much that you can't be hungry. If you're not hungry, if you don't feel that your goal and your dream is necessary, your dream will end up a casualty. And so you got to get up each day. The people that are hungry, they're the first ones to get up in the morning and the last ones to go to sleep at night. People that are hungry, they have an agenda for their life, of what they want to get out of the day. People that are not hungry, they are part of somebody else's agenda. They just are trying to go through the day. And don't mess with them. Don't criticize them. Leave them alone. My mother had a sign, I always talk about it, on her mirror. Oh, Lord, help me keep my nose out of other people's business. So I'm talking to you this morning because as much as I'm talking to you about this, I'm talking to myself about this. I'm 75. You know, you get 75, let me share something with you. All kind of stuff start happening to you. You wake up one morning, you start moving, whoop. I used to wonder, Mama would say, oh, Arthur's bothering me. Mama, who's Arthur? Don't worry, boy, you live long enough, you'll find out. Well, I know where Arthur is now. He's on my right hip, and he's been giving me a fit up in here, up in here. Oh, my God. She's talking about arthritis. Thank the Lord for waking me up in my right mind this morning. Mama, why do y'all say that every Sunday? Why do you say that? Don't worry, boy. You live long enough, you'll find out. I went to Cancer Centers of America. I lost my passport. I left my identification there at the hospital. I got home and I said, hey, did you see it, John Leslie? No, sir, Daddy. Do you know where I put it? No, sir, Daddy. Who's 75 here? You 36. I'm the one 75. You should be watching me. You know, you can't leave me by myself. Oh my God. You know, I mean, oh my God. I mean, just little aches and pains coming from everywhere. You say, wait a minute, what's going to come next? I didn't do nothing to deserve this. Oh my God. Oh, so I have to take my time going down the steps. My mind is young and vibrant and energetic, but the body said, you better take your time. You better take your time, Mr. Motivator. For you're behind, fall down these steps. You might be faking young and motivated, but you better positively take your time going down the steps. Oh, getting older is so humbling. It's so humbling. That's why I think Paul say, pray unceasingly. But this is a fresh start. This is a time to be excited. This is a time to get with some people that you know that's going in the direction of where you're going, that's grateful that they're still here because of God's grace and mercy, and to brainstorm about what we are going to do next. That's what I'm doing with my sons, with my daughters. These are my children here. Yeah, that's just half of them. Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. I took him seriously. I got 5 girls and 5 boys. I smile at you. You'll fail a rabbit test. Millennials don't know anything about a rabbit test. I know they say, what does he mean by that? What's a rabbit test? Don't worry, baby. That's okay. He's a little off. Don't worry about that. I'm telling you. I mean, we got to be grateful and celebrate and have a spirit of gratitude that we are still here, that we are victorious, that we have accomplished some things and have created an opening so we can work our gifts. That's what we've done. That's what we're fighting for, to be in position so we can do that which we are called to do. And trust me, this place where we are, this is not any time for people who are just looking for getting another job, who've been eliminated from the job market because of the coronavirus or because of artificial intelligence. No. This is a time to create. We were created by the Creator to create. Create something for yourself, something that's you, something that's in your heart, something that's your calling. A job you get paid for. A calling is what you're made for. And I decided, I had a goal. What's your goal now? What is it you're going to do? People that don't have goals die sooner than people who have goals. Why? They have no reason to get up in the morning. They need an alarm clock. But when you have a goal, you don't need an alarm clock. No, you don't. You'll get up. And trust me on this. When there's a reason for your life, reasons are empowering reasons. They bring something out of you. Reasons allow you to rise and face whatever life throws at you, because it's going to throw some stuff at you. Think it not strange that you'll face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, no matter if you give 10% of your earnings. You will, no matter if you've been real good. You will, no matter if you speak in unknown tongues. You will have tribulations. You will, if you've been real good. Yet you will have tribulations. Stuff's going to happen to you. Why? That's the way it's set up. Let me tell you something. I have gone through so much stuff. I'm here in Cancer Centers of America, and they gave me a CT scan. You have to drink the solution, and then they scan your body. And they said, oh, we see a little presence of something here. I've said, Lord, look here. Don't you have anybody else? Can you pass this cup to somebody else? Well, come on, what do you mean? What you talking about? Well, you need to come back, and we're going to give you an MRI. An MRI? Oh my goodness! I don't like MRIs. Oh, y'all should be calling and talking to people in places where I've been, where they gave me an MRI. From the last MRI I had, I left them a little gift in there. And now that machine, that MRI machine, is on the side of the building. Oh my God, they didn't give him his medication this morning. I'm sorry, Tyrone, I'll be through in a minute. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Come on. They put a mask on my face, and then they strap my face down, and then they put straps over my arms and everything and my body and push me in, and they closed the door, and then they went out the room and said, just relax and breathe deeply. And they turned the light off, and they said, when we push this button and tell you to hold your breath, are you all right? No! I tell you what I did one time.
Let me tell you why it strapped me down. Because last time I did it, I scooted out. I scooted out the other end. I said, no. Homie can't do this. No. I scooted out. Y'all got to give me some. I'm claustrophobic. Yeah, when I was a kid, they were playing and locked me in the refrigerator, and I had recalls about all that kind of stuff. So maybe the word got out, so they strapped me down this time. They strapped me down and pushed me in. I called the whole gang, give me the script, not the strength. Give me the script to handle this. I was trying to say the Lord's Prayer, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I had known the 23rd Psalm since I was a kid. All I could remember was when that light went off, when they closed that door, all I could remember was, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. It's amazing. If you never had an MRI, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Hey, all I'm saying is, life is coming for you. Why? I didn't do nothing. I understand. It's coming for you. And so, therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that having done all to stand. And so, as you think about yourself and think about where we are right now, we got a fresh start. And we want to capitalize on this. We want to maximize this. We want to get everything we can out of this. We want to milk this time until it expires. You know what Robert Schuller said? He said, tough times never last, but tough people do. And he was right. And we are still here. We are tough. Now we got to do what we have to do until this expires. Nothing stays the same. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Listen, Quincy Jones, flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you, but my heavenly Father, which art in heaven. We got a fresh start. It's time to get serious. What is it you want to do? What's in your heart? What is it that you'd like to do before you check out? My goal is to train entrepreneurs. My goal is to teach people how to use their voice and how to promote their business, to promote themselves, to promote their ideas, to promote their products, to create a new chapter in their lives, to live a larger life, because we can. We got it like that. You think God spared us so we can live a small life? No. We are here to do the greater work. So what does that look like for you? We're here to build a legacy for our children and our children's children. And do you realize that most men, when they die, they leave liabilities rather than a legacy? They're not even thinking about it. See, when you are in survival mode, it's one thing to live versus surviving. When you're made in the likeness and image of God, and you know that, and you've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth, and you live from that place of power rather than have that just be lip service, rather than life service, you're able to create. What are you creating? How much time do you have left? The journey that has brought me this far is much longer than the journey that I have left. So my goal is to maximize it. My goal is to finish strong. How many of you are ready to finish strong so that you can live full and die empty, as Miles Monroe would say? Most people go to their graves with their talents, their abilities, their dreams in them. You have to get to a place where you say to yourself, I'm not going out like this. I have a friend of mine who he lived a criminal life, in and out of jail, in and out of jail.
And the last time he got out of jail, he went to the hospital. One of the children that he had impregnated a woman with, he was there at the hospital when the baby was born, his son. And when the baby opened his eyes, he said that was his rehabilitation. He said he decided in that moment, that was a turning point. In that moment, he would no longer live a criminal life. What will it take for you? Paul said, I must die daily. What will it take for you to die to who you have been now that we have a fresh start? What will it take for you to die to who you've been, to have a fresh start on this day, to honor your commitment to yourself, to get off all your medication, to exercise? I'm talking to myself. And do the things that you know you need to do, Mr. Brown, Mr. Motivator, that will keep you here on the planet longer. So you got to do some things so you can be here. Being here is not a given. You have to work at it. So what's your game plan for being here, for improving your life and putting more life into your years? So when that young sister runs, who announced her candidacy at the inauguration, what are you going to do differently? See, it's one thing to say, I want to be here at 90. You're 75 now. I want to be here now. But it's something else when you say, I expect to be here. See, want shows up in conversation. Expectation shows up in behavior. Wow. Oh my goodness. If the shoe fit, wear it. And if it doesn't fit and it's your shoe, wear it anyhow. Oh no, he didn't go there. Yes, he did.
All right. I want you to think about your goals and dreams. What is it you want to do with your life, particularly now? Because what we know is life is fragile. I was planning not to come out till 2027. And then somebody whispered in my ear, called life. Who said you gonna be here in 2027? I know you want to be. Did you remember Michael Jackson? They spent millions of dollars saying this is it.
That was it.
But it was not the it they had in mind. Only put off for tomorrow the things that you don't mind dying in you today. And I said, I got to come out. I've been in so long. I've been talking to squirrels. I even have a squirrel friend who's taught me squirreling. Which says right then in squirrely, I'm so glad to be here and talk to you about focusing. Because in order to make it now, with all the distractions that's going on, that you have to focus. You have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. A lot of people are focused on entertainment. A lot of people are checked out. A lot of people are snapping, having meltdowns in traffic, road rage, in grocery stores, arguing about toilet paper, family members arguing in the bedroom about their relationship, waking up in the morning and said, you know what? I don't want to do life with you anymore. I feel lonely whenever you are around. I'm out of here. And so as we look at ourselves, look at our goals and dreams, one of the most important things we have to do is focus on what gives you a sense of peace. I've been ending relationships that don't bring value to me and that are not peaceful. See, I've come to know that you don't have to help life bring drama. Life will traumatize you by itself. You don't have to augment and complement the process. But there are people who have a propensity for drama, and any little thing can take them and tilt the needle in that direction. No, this is the time you want to focus on peace. If you don't have a peaceful state of mind, if you don't pour into yourself, a person that don't have a sense of peace, they are subject to snap at any time. That's why we're seeing unexplained violence. We see people that's making dumb, stupid decisions that cause them to throw their lives away because of the decisions they make. When anger goes up, ignorance increases and intelligent thinking goes down. And so this is a time that you want to focus on peace, and then you want to focus on this question: am I on course? Is this the best way for me to live my life right now? And you want to focus on your relationships and ask the question: what is this relationship doing to me? Is it an asset or a liability? Is it bringing out the best of me? Is it holding me accountable? Is it creating the next greatest version of myself? Do I feel good when this person is around me? I have a friend that I was telling her, I said, tell me how you feel when your husband comes near you. And she called me, she said, I feel threatened and uncomfortable. I said, you need to get out of there. I said, that's unhealthy. She'd been having cervical cancer surgery for several years. After she left him, she didn't have any more. There are people who can make you sick. You know, you say, you make me sick? That's real. There's a book I read called Who's the Matter with Me? So you want to focus on the relationships. You want to focus on the environment, because environment, it can determine how you feel about yourself and how you see the world. So I'm saying to you, at this point in time, focus on that which is positive, that can give you a sense of optimism. Focus on the relationships that can empower you, that can hold you accountable. Focus on your strength, so that in the events that are going on right now, so you can turn those adversities into your creativity and your advantage. You have greatness in you, and you have to be hungry for greatness. It doesn't happen automatically. You have to work hard. You have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. You have the power, authority, and dominion on living life on your terms.